So Phil is turning on the ability to chat and turn our videos and on and opening the chat so that we can enter blessings and prayers perhaps that have been what the community would like to share. Feel free to support one another in the chat as well. I want to start with some good news because I figured you might want to know the end of the story. And after hearing Wayne's incredible testimony about what's going on with him, I just want to share this as well. So this past Thursday, the Natural Resources Commission voted 6-0 to leave the 9-month hunting season in place for the coyotes. I found this the most I love this. The Michigan United Conservation Club, which has thousands and thousands of hunter members in the state of Michigan, wrote a letter to its members after the vote and said another season of hunting will be lost due to the commission following the emotional plea of an anti-hunting zealot. And I have to tell you, I thought, call me that name anytime. So anyways, that is my good news to start tonight, that we really are tonight for me in Michigan. But it was just, I actually was very surprised that the commission is made up. They started their introductions with talking about their history of hunting, how long they've been doing it, where they like to hunt, those kinds of things. There were 6 members. And I thought for sure there was no way this was going to go in the direction that I hoped it would. So just wanted to share that. So is there anything else I would like to add? Let me see. I'm going to get on here. Okay, we've got something from Debbie and the Gang of Fur. Blessings, please, for Earth Angel Chris Arsenault and the other 160 cats who perished in a fire at his Happy Cat Sanctuary. I hadn't heard about that. Thank you, Debbie, for raising that up. Maybe you could stick a little note in there. Where is that? Because I'm not familiar with that, where that sanctuary was located. Love and prayers to Kimberly's cat Teddy, who unexpectedly crossed the Rainbow Bridge 3 weeks ago, and his siblings Gemma, Gus, and Daisy, who clearly miss him. Prayers for the dire wolf. That's so interesting that you would raise that, Lisa. I just saw there's an article about maybe you saw that, and that's where that came up. But there is an article about they've done some I don't know how they've done this. Scientists have somehow drawn DNA from some of the fossils and believe they have recreated the dire wolf, which it's fascinating. I had just been out in the Brea tar pits out in LA, where they have discovered a number of skulls from them, but apparently they've somehow used the DNA from that to bring them back, which is fascinating. Oh, and thank you for the update there on the Happy Cat Sanctuary. And Victoria, prayers and action requested for the New York City pigeons who are being rounded up for rural pigeon shoots. Blessings to Mother Pigeon in Brooklyn, who's heading up direct action on behalf of these birds. I had not heard about that before we got on this afternoon's call, and I'm so sorry to hear that. Someone is asking from Compassion Consortium is asking for prayers for friend Holly, who loved Compassion Consortium and passed away recently. Aw, Phil, thank you. Thank you for raising that. And I also want to raise up our own beloved Jen, who lost her beautiful beagle Duncan yesterday. I'm so sorry, Jen. Is there anybody else? And Cheryl's raising the issue. There is nowhere for the wolves to live, and I'm actually, Michigan has got, we're doing there's a group getting together because we have wolf issues in Michigan, as many of you may know, population challenges that have gone up and down, and actually I'm working with some folks now on that issue here. But yeah, these issues are so complicated. And yeah, thank you all for sharing those. Is there anything else, any other good news that anyone would like to share as well? We always like to hear that as well. Prayer, strength, wisdom, direction, and patience as I face hateful non-vegan trolls in my online keyboard activism for a czar. Yeah, that's and Carlos is asking, where's the pigeon event? So if someone knows, please pop that into the chat as well. Nina just got someone to go vegan when she went to Sephora looking for vegan shampoo. I love it. That's great. Yeah, you never know. I loved Wayne's story today. When I was in seminary, I had one of my professors, I went through an interfaith seminary, but I also was in a Methodist seminary on the campus of Northwestern. So we were close, nearby, Wayne, if you were still there. But I had a professor for my Revelation class, and every paper I wrote, I somehow tied it into animal protection. It just kept, everything I did during seminary, I did that. It drove everybody nuts, I think, but that's okay. That's how I did my thing. But at the end of the class, he wrote to me on the back of one of my papers, and he said, I hope you're happy. I can't look at my golden retriever the same anymore, and I'm now vegan. You just never know. And so when Wayne was talking about this, I thought, you you never know where those little points of light are. And I think everyone has that capacity to find compassion. And so, yeah, we just have to keep at it. Let's see if there's anything else here before we go on. Cheryl said she had her first call to her Chaplain phone. That's nice. Maybe you can share a little bit about that at the end of today's service, Cheryl, when you wrap us up. Is there anything else anybody would like to share during this time? Maybe close our eyes and we'll just for a moment, in the silence, think about all the names, all the concerns, the grief, the joy, all of it. It all belongs. May it be so. Amen. And now, actually, this is a perfect time for Cheryl to share before she closes out our service. So if you would like to maybe tell us about your phone call and also close us out.
Well, I've been trying to get a chaplain thing going here in Evanston, Wyoming, and that's not a very easy thing to do. So I've been ridiculed quite frequently, but I've been advertising and letting people know, and some fellow called me and it's like, I'm just devastated. My dog died a year ago. It was my fault, and I can't sleep. I can't eat. So we talked for a whole long time, and we'll be keeping contact. So just for me, that was just so frigging exciting because it is so hard to talk to people here. Because so many folk, kill deer, pronghorn for dinner. So it's just hard.
Well, that's great. Thank you for sharing that good news. And now, would you be willing to close us out here before we get here are the announcements? I think there's a slide that Phil will be pulling up for us. There you go.
May all creatures everywhere be happy and free. May the thoughts, words, and actions of our lives contribute to this happiness and this freedom for all. May it be so.